Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Hello, everyone. This is Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers, and we are here with another exciting episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry podcast. And as always, I have my lovely co-host, Elisa Dillon of Southern Jewelry News. Thank you, as always, Ian. And
thanks for having me.
Of course, this is your home. And yes, it is. And today we have our special guest, Craig Underwood, who's the president and owner of Underwood Fine Jewelry in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Guy. Appreciate you inviting me to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Absolutely. I am very excited to talk to you. And why don't you tell us about about the store, about Underwood's Fine Jewelry?
Yeah, Underwood's is here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We have a single store operation, one that my dad founded back in 1957. I grew up here in Fayetteville and went away to school, went away to Baylor University and then out to the GIA, and then did a 2-year internship down in Louisiana and with a good family friend at ours, Lee Michaels Fine Jewelers, and did 2 years internship, and then came back to the family business back in 1987 and have been here since, and slowly became more and more active in the business as my dad slowly took more and more time away and made that a successful transition from the first generation to the second. And I'm very proud to say that my son, I have 3 boys, and my middle son, Troy, has joined the business. He came in about 3 years ago, and so we got the 3rd generation going.
Well,
very nice.
Congratulations. Yeah. It looks like there's a very, like a really high level of excellence when it comes to jewelry, based on all the awards that your store has won, different design contests and so forth. I believe a couple of years ago, you got the Robert M. Shipley Award, also featured in Southern Jewelry News. How is it that you guys create such amazing jewelry?
Just something we like doing. We're unique in our track record. If you go back and look at the style of jewelry we've done, we've always been that traditional high-end gilt type jewelry store that specializes in promoting our own name. We've always been that way. We've been brand averse for years, and there's a very, very successful routes to go in the jewelry industry using brands. We have chosen not to do that. Everything that we have done has been done with the Underwood brand. We go directly to the source. We travel multiple times a year to India for our diamonds. We travel directly to the source for our colored gemstones. I travel to Europe for our fine gold. And everything when it comes in the store is under our banner, under the Underwood name. As you come in here, you're not going to see any other name other than the Underwood name. We have a full in-house design shop. We have multiple designers. We have 4 full-time goldsmiths in our in-house shop. We do all of our own casting with gold and platinum, all our own sourcing from the melee all the way to the center stone. Really from top to bottom, we do it. And I'll tell you, it was a very difficult route to go 20, 30 years ago when everything was brand oriented. And it was, people would come in asking, for different name brands, and that's just not what we did. And it's interesting to see the industry now shift back more, what I think, to its roots. And you're seeing more stores do the custom work and go into the one-of-a-kind pieces and having their own custom shop. But it is a tougher road to go. You don't have any inventory balancing. If you buy a dog or make a dog, you're stuck with it and you have to tear it apart. You don't have any co-op advertising. You don't have anybody that can help you with your campaigns and with your training. And you're doing all that yourself. But we find it very rewarding, and it's the way we prefer to go. And we've been blessed with the successes that we've had. We've won international design awards in Japan and in Europe and the United States, and had our pieces worn on the red carpet for both the Oscars and the Emmys. And for a little tiny store in Fayetteville, Arkansas, it's it's been fun. It's been very fun.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
the way,
That's quite a few accolades.
Fayetteville for the first time this week announced that in census they just hit 100,000 people. So we're been a small town, less than 100,000 people all these years, but we're starting to grow.
That's fantastic. Well, the long list of awards that are showing up on your website is pretty amazing, including something related to the Emmys, kind of a while back, Emmy Awards.
Yeah, that was through AGTA. They contacted us. They specialize more in color stones and manufacturing, and they had a opportunity to bring in jewelry for both the Emmys and the Oscars. And they had gone through several of their suppliers, but they needed a few more pieces. And they contacted us and said, we'd like to have some of your pieces as well, representing the industry for both the Emmys and the Oscars. And so we were honored to do so. And our pieces, it goes into a big showroom area where celebrities come in and their stylists and the celebrities themselves decide what they want to wear. And there's a huge selection. Not everything gets selected, but I'm happy that several of our pieces over the years were selected by various celebrities for the red carpet events.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It was really cool.
Everybody in your staff just, and how often was that used on the sales floor? Oh, did you watch that?
It was. It was. That was a 100-hour job. It really was.
Definitely. I would think so, that your sales floor associates appreciated that.
Yes. Yeah, they did indeed.
Fantastic. Do you do some of the designing yourself, designing jewelry making?
I do. And when I went out to the GIA after college, I went there and got my GG. And then after that, I stayed and did the jewelry design course, which helped me. Not very good at just freehand drawing. The mechanical drawing that they taught at the GIA helped me dramatically. And I still do some of that mechanical drawing. I'll do a little bit of freehand and the mechanical when I'm going for like a Tucson, when we're looking at all sorts of different colored stones, and I'll see a gemstone and I'll have somewhat of a vision of what I'm thinking I want to have done with it. And I'll do kind of hand scratching. It's not very pretty, but it gets the idea across. I know what I have in my mind of what I want to get done, and I'll do some little pencil drawings, and then I hand that off to my design staff. And we have multiple people here on our staff that are very talented at finishing the rendering out, and so they'll take that as a starting template, and then they'll develop it and flesh it out further and come up with a finished design. And so we'll do that by hand with a full color rendering top, end, and side view. And then from that, we send it on up to our shop, which again is we have in-house, and they'll either do it by hand or they'll do a CAD design of it, and then it starts its progress into being a finished piece.
Right.
So
how long does it usually take for a customer? Like, I know, custom pieces, they do take a while from, the planning and the brainstorming idea all the way to the finished product. And I know a lot of retail customers are probably real anxious to see it all the time, but how long does it take from the creative all the way down to the end for somebody who comes in your store? And
for somebody that comes in the store, a typical process is 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes as much as 8 weeks. So it is a bit of a process to go through.
Right.
You have that first consultation where you sit down and get an idea of what they are wanting and what is in their mind's eye. And then we start working up various pencil sketches that are just thumbnail sketches, basically, of what we feel that they have described to us. And then once that's narrowed down, then we start with the full color rendering, and then the process from there. With pieces that we do for stock, a lot of times they'll take much longer than that because they keep getting bumped, obviously, by customers, what's people that are actually paying to have it done. And so that takes a back seat to the pieces we're doing custom. And sometimes also I'll have a piece with custom that I have an idea of what I want, but I haven't completely etched in stone the directions it's going to be. There are some pieces that that have taken over a year to do. There's one that we did that just recently was just absolutely incredible. It was a beautiful blue-green diamond, natural blue-green diamond. Just had almost a ultramarine type blue topaz, but really beautiful blue color to it for a diamond, which, as you know, is exceedingly rare. And it wasn't real large, and is right around a fifth of a carat, I believe. And we were wanting to make that the center stone and then come up with something on the sides. And it took me a while. About 6 months later, I had found two matched pear-shaped pink diamonds. And those were about just under a half carat each, so just about a 1 carat total weight. And the pastel color of those three blended beautifully. And that's what I was really wanting. Because the blue diamond was so valuable, but also so small, I wanted something that would complement it and make it stand out, but not overshadow it. And even though the pinks were significantly larger, because of their soft pastel color, it really accentuated the center blue color of the center diamond. So then we started working on design, and we must have gone through 40 or 50 designs because I really wanted this piece to be special. I had a little bit of an idea of what I wanted. It was more of a elongated, it had a little bit of antique look, and it was more of a elongated, more like an oval or marquee shape along the finger, the overall profile of the ring. And then we had some hand filigree in there and some beautiful gallery work that was done. I got it finished, and again, it took about a year from the time I got the blue diamond until we finally finished it. I had a couple customers in mind, and one of my top salespeople called her customer, and within 35 minutes of us having it ready to sell, it sold. It was done. So so those go really quick sometimes. So it was that was a fun piece to work with.
Absolutely. All
Long
good
process.
things come those who wait. I
Yeah.
guess that was just meant to be.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. I think people don't, the consumers, they think, oh, I'm designing my own, but the amount of effort it takes from the designer to you, to the salesperson, it's all a team effort, I'm sure.
Very much so.
Yeah. So that piece sounds beautiful. I'm sure your client was just over the hill over it.
He was. Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't live in the state of Arkansas. He lives outside. And he committed to it sight unseen, other than the videos and the pictures we took of it. He said that's what I want. So yeah,
Fantastic.
That shows he trusts you
Yes.
and has been a loyal customer. I've always told people, pick your jeweler like you do your doctor, because you need to trust them.
yeah, I like that.
So
There you go. Well, Dr. Craig, as we looking at this, this awards page, there's quite a few. There's lots of awards listed on your website, but not a picture next to each one. But the ones that do have some, I gotta say, really love these cufflinks with the pearls. Those are very cool. Really like
Isn't that an interesting design? That was done. Oh, that's been several years ago that we did that. That was the highest U.S. Winning category for the International Pearl Design Contest in Tokyo, Japan. It was a men's pair of cufflinks. A really unique design with that is we took natural culture pearls and then took basically like a bandsaw, and we cut pearls on four walls in a sense, so that they could then stack up next to each other, side by side by side. And then you'll see the platinum wires were drawn over the top, and it did that grid that's on there. And it almost looks like, a kitchen utensil where you press down and you're slicing bowl, or you're doing something, the donut or whatever, and you have that foam or the dough coming out. You see that bubble type look coming out of it, yet all of them were stacked side by side. And as you look around the perimeter, it's done platinum as well, but there's a real fine inlay of 22 karat gold around the outer rim. And then if you flip it over upside down, we did the inside concave as far as the dome of it. And then on the backside, we mirrored that wire grid pattern just for just visual element.
Right.
And then on the end that goes for the button, that's what we did a mobby pearl on that end. So yeah, very unique.
Yeah.
For that
I'm
one.
not much of a cufflink guy, nor a pearl guy. But wow, I would rock those babies all day long. They're really nice.
Yeah, I don't.
Guy is a pearl guy. He hosts a podcast.
That is
called Pearls.
true. Pearls of wisdom.
I'm not a pearl guy.
That's true. Duh.
He really is a pearl
Yeah,
guy.
I
but
know,
yeah.
And
right?
yes, I think so too. I think so.
Yeah.
But amazing
Yeah.
work.
That's
Congratulations.
stunning.
Yes.
Yeah, just stunning work.
Speaking of pearl guys, I really am excited the number of men that are wearing pearls.
Dude.
I think that's really fun. We saw it a lot with the beaded bracelets, and then it went to pearl bracelets, and now you're seeing the pearl necklaces. And I like the contrast with somebody Caucasian wearing the black pearls and vice versa. I really like that contrast. Yeah, hopefully we'll see that grow and continue to be.
Are you wearing any out and about when you go?
No, I'm not. I don't. I'm not gone there. I have my brooch.
Yeah, your brooch is
and
beautiful.
I love brooches. I've always loved brooches. I've always purchased more
Men and a
brooches than we can
brooch.
sell because I always love them. And this was one we were in Vicenza last year, and a small manufacturer there in Italy that had this one. And while we do a lot of custom pieces ourselves, there are unique pieces like this that we'll see overseas. And this is one that I saw and end up buying and having for myself. So
right.
wear it every day.
Stunning.
Yeah.
I would love to see a man with beautiful brooches on. You'll see it on the red carpet. You'll see it
we
at
saw
all
a
the
lot
major
this
trade
year.
shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Wow.
My husband retired from the city, and I gave him on a leather cord a Tahitian South Sea pearl. It was dark, and he hasn't really taken it all since. So, I never would have thought that this very don't wear jewelry guy. He loves it.
That's a great look. A large
compliments on it.
Great look. So, I'm glad he's enjoying it. And that's awesome.
He sure is.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I wanted to mention, you mentioned your small town a few times. I've actually been to Fayetteville, Arkansas many times because there's a large retailer down the road.
There is.
That I used to go see twice a month for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So I've been to Fayetteville, Arkansas a bunch of times.
So how long ago was that?
This is about 27 years, 25 years, something like that.
You would be shocked at how much this area has grown.
I imagine.
Back at that time, I bet Fayetteville wasn't even 50,000 people, and it's grown. The whole area, Fayetteville, Springville, Rogers, Bentonville, but Walmart is a presence in our community, and they've been a great community supporter and a great neighbor to have in our community.
Not that we have to be stuck on Fayetteville, Arkansas, but there was a really great restaurant. It's like something Mill.
James at the Mill. James at the Mill.
Oh man, amazing restaurant. Loved it.
Wonderful.
But so I know being in that area gives you a lot of access to some beautiful scenery, beautiful
we're in that
landscape. Yeah, and you do something it's a little unique for a jewelry store owner, but and I'm really excited about this because I love photography. You were featured. Let's see. There's a feature in Southern Jewelry News last year, end of November 2023. Your photographs for I guess got a gallery showing, right? You're
That's right.
Would you say a landscape photographer?
Yeah, that's my area of interest is landscape photography, and you're right. This area, I'm in Northwest Arkansas, so far, northwest corner of the state, and we're in the Ozark Mountains. Ozark Mountains are mostly in Arkansas, Missouri. They creep a little bit into Oklahoma, but mostly Arkansas, Missouri. Buffalo River, which was the nation's first national river, is here in the Ozarks, as well as many other rivers and creeks. And I grew up hiking and camping and enjoying the outdoors, and slowly got into photography. And that's my side passion. I love what I do in jewelry. That's what pays the bills. It makes everything go round.
Nice.
But as a side hobby, I really have in the last 10 years, roughly, like 12 years, I guess, I've really gotten into landscape photography.
Right. Wow. It looks amazing. Well, first, anybody listening has to check out underwoods.com. This is the award-winning fine jewelry store, underwoods.com in Fayetteville, Arkansas. But if you're interested in seeing Craig's photography work, make sure you check out underwoodphotos.com. And man, these are just like some amazing photos. Um, I love, long exposure, waterfall photography, just
Yes.
there's really a lot of amazing um, photographs that you have here. Not
Beautiful.
all necessarily landscape. Like there's this one on your it's like an old like bicycle cart. It looks very cool. A lot
Yes.
of grit, lots
Yeah.
of
That was in
character.
China.
Oh, that's in
My
China.
wife and I, yeah, kind of going back, we have three boys. And as I mentioned, my middle son, Troy, is coming to the family business. But we raised the three boys. And, as you're raising kids, it is just a hectic time. And then finally, as we became empty nesters, a couple different things happened. One, we had time for some side hobbies, and my wife has always enjoyed outdoors running and things like that. She was into that, as well as she got into doing cooking classes and gardening. I'd always enjoyed taking pictures of my kids, but just snapshots and everything. Had the opportunity in 2012 to do a photo workshop, which was the first time I learned how to really use a camera for landscape photography. But also during that time, my wife and I got into cycling. Had always been interested in hiking and camping, and she's never been much for camping part of it. She enjoyed running, which I don't enjoy that part of it. And cycling was where we met in the middle.
There you go.
And so 12 years ago, we started doing that for our vacation each year. And we do a 1 week trip, typically the end of the summer, and we do a long bicycle trip. Our first one was called Cycle Oregon, which was 2,400 riders riding 400 miles in 6 days.
Oh.
And it's a hilly mountainous course. We, up until 6 months prior to that, we didn't even own bikes. I had never even clipped in to a bike. And so we got up to speed pretty quickly and did that. And that was a trip where each night you camp out, and then you had the whole week was, mess tents and porta potties and little drizzle showers, and riding up to 100 miles in a day and sleeping on the ground, and had a great time cycling. The camping part, my wife was glad she did, but she, was like, okay, I've done it once. I've checked that off. I don't need to do it again. So from then we started doing these groups called back roads, Butterfield and Robinson and Trek, 3 cycling companies that we work with.
Sure.
And they take you out for a week. Typically, instead of 400 miles, you do about 200 miles in a week.
Easy.
But you're spending the night in a restaurant, or you're eating at a restaurant, spending the night in a soft bed and having a warm shower, which is so much better after a ride,
Yes.
than sleeping on the ground. And we really enjoyed that. And over the last 12 years, we've done 1 week rides. We've done it in China, Japan, Ireland, France, Italy, Germany. We've traveled all over and literally have cycled thousands of miles throughout the world doing this. And each time I'll take my camera and take some pictures. And that one you're talking about is a picture from China of that bicycle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And clicking through to that, there's a lot of really amazing, landscape photography. You got the Great Wall here.
Yes.
Wow, there's some really amazing things. And I know trying to do this myself, because it is a passion. It's just, I got too many passions. I got to, trim some down. But, you can't.
And you're a good photographer.
Have you done it a while, Guy?
Have
you been in photography?
I have. I started with film a long time ago.
Yes.
And when I was 16, that was a long time ago. But I've done lots of things. I do photo, video, and all kinds of things. I've built websites. I've done all kinds of things. So but I love doing that art that you can see, like things, like you can see in the photograph. I love doing video more, but you can't easily watch it. Like a photograph, you can frame and hang on the wall. You can see it every day and pass it all the time. Video, you got to play it, or something like that. But I love where you have that tangible, like you said, you're selling some of your art, your photographs. And I see the sun coming over the mountains on this one. You got to wait for that right moment. I'll be right there at the golden hour. And, a couple of times it looks like there's some Arizona or some desert, and You got the sun right over the mountains, and
Tucson Gym Show.
There you
Tucson
go.
Gym Show.
Right. So I'm curious because I'm kind of a
The best.
camera, like kind of tech stuff like that. What do you shoot with?
I use a Canon R5. I used to have a 5D Mark III, and just recently went to the mirrorless camera about 2 years ago. And so that's what I've been using. And I actually got my start in this junior high. My dad gave me a Pentax K1000.
A1000?
Film camera, all manual, nothing, automatic. But it allows you to learn. You learn about, shutter speed and the aperture and the film speed and things like that. And again, from that, I just did, snapshots of my family growing up. And in 2012, again, just as we were becoming empty nesters, I took a photo workshop, a 3-day workshop from a local photographer, great guy. He's been a mentor of mine. His name is Tim Ernst. And it was a 3-day workshop, and learned how I knew the basics again of aperture and shutter speed and all that, but I didn't know the other technical aspects of it. I'd take pictures and I'm like, why do my pictures not look like other people, that do nice landscape? And learned about the importance of a tripod, and learned the importance of a cable release, and learned, at least with a DSLR, with that mirror, that you have to program the camera so you push the cable release twice, once to flip the mirror up and let the body settle down, and then a second time to take the shot. And a lot of, just technical detail things I had no idea about. And did that workshop, and it just opened a whole new world for me. It was, eye-opening and fun. And that got me the photo bug for doing landscape photography.
Fantastic. Well, I for me personally, I'm glad things went to digital, because processing film was just too expensive for a 16-year-old.
Yeah, really. And that is the thing is, used to, you'd have to conserve your shots. And now with digital, you can take 30 or 40 shots from just one angle and then work the scene. And you may take 100 or more shots in one scene and then move on to the next, waterfall. And it's great experience, and great flexibility that's on there.
Well,
so what do you shoot with, Guy?
Well, I don't have one right now, but I really like the Nikon D850. But I was really wanted to try some of the mirrorless. I do a lot of my video work with Lumix cameras. We'll do, the jewelry videos and interview videos, corporate videos, things like that. On occasion, I will, do headshots. I've been blessed to have the cover, get the cover of In-Store magazine four times.
Wow.
And just got a feature. I thought I was hoping they were going to choose it for a cover, but it was an inside feature on diamonds. But yes, I love.
That's impressive. 4 covers. Yeah.
4 covers. So I know Christopher's Insta. Come on, Christy, you gotta go. Anyway, but yes, happy for that. If you look at my my Flickr, it's kind of like all over the place. Family to landscape to model photography, product photography. But anyway, I just gotta focus.
Well, you're talking about the mirrorless, and while 2 years ago I did go to that, I'm still struggling with that. I don't like it as much as I did my DSLR. And I've had friends that are so into it. They're like, how could you not like it? And to me, it's a little bit of a disconnect. As you look at a DSLR, you're looking, through the viewfinder, it bounces off the mirror, and you're actually looking through the lens. And it's like looking through maybe binoculars or something. You're actually seeing what you're going to photograph. With the mirrorless, you're looking at a miniature TV screen that is in the ocular, but you're looking at a TV image of what you're getting ready to shoot.
Exactly.
Now, on the bright side, you can real quickly see what's overexposed and underexposed, see if you have hot spots, and you get a better feel for what the final picture's going to be. But I still feel detached from the environment with the. Any thoughts on that?
No,
for you?
I agree. If I'm using mirrorless, better just use the back, the LCD screen. I don't stick my eye up to the thing because it is a bit unusual. You see the grain from the screen, and you're right.
Yes.
It's like, that DSLR, it's like looking through a binocular or something, you get like a real feel.
I agree. Yeah.
So I do agree. Obviously there's that shutter. There's things depending on the shot, but
yes,
at least it's like, yeah, I'll come back. I'll go away and come back and we'll keep talking about photo. But yeah.
I kind of know what you're talking about a little bit because before I've been at Southern Jewelry News for 22 years, but prior to that, I did have a career in the modeling and talent agency. I was a booking agent, and I did a lot of on-site production, whether it was helping the makeup artist out, model shoots, this and that. And two of my best friends owned a studio, so I was always around a lot of photographers. So. Yeah, I know exactly what y'all are talking about. Go ahead.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well,
here we go.
I gotta say, it's not always. It's a lot of fun. Not always glamorous. I just did a photo video shoot last Friday for a jewelry company that needs Amazon photos. So they're not high fashion. They're pretty basic. But it was a 12-hour shoot, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh wow.
Man, after 7 hours, like how much more? And it was a crazy day.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
people don't see that have never experienced that, but it is. I have a great appreciation for what you do. That's
and that was
tougher than it looks.
Just shy of 4,000 photos and 300 videos.
Well,
it was.
And then will you go through and edit those as well? And, obviously not all of them, but
well, I'll go through and remove all the bad ones, blinks and bad, But I have to go through all photos, and then by the way, they want it done in 10 days. Oh, that whole editing and final.
Yesterday.
Exactly. And, So, but I love doing that. Type of stuff, but any chance I can, I go outdoors, try to shoot some Milky Way, try to shoot long exposure, all kinds of stuff. But that's why I was really excited about this and looking at your photos. Amazing. So
beautiful.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. For me to get those photos, it is a lot of work in that regard as well. Just like you doing the photo shoots with models. There is so much time between each of those photos, or behind each of those photos that you see there.
Yeah.
But it's something I love doing. But have this super old Suburban. It's a 1990 Suburban, 34 years old. It's awesome. And it's so old. It's the type that you can take the bench seat out of the third row, and in the middle row are the two chairs that fold up against the driver and the passenger seat. And once those are folded out, literally behind that, it's like a pickup truck bed. It is a perfectly flat, it's carpeted, but perfectly flat, huge back enclosed area of Suburban. And I have a futon I put back there. And so that's my camping. And so all these photos, the vast majority of them have been on camping trips. I'll go out for 3 or 4 days, just by myself, deep into the Ozark Mountains. So all times I won't see somebody at all for, a couple of days or more, and I'll be out. I do take an emergency beacon with me in case there be an accident for safety, but I'll go back bushwhacking through different areas back at the Ozark Mountains. I'll camp out in my truck, wake up at, 4:30 or 5 in the morning, put my headlamp on and start walking out. And as you know, Guy, when to do the photography, right when the golden hour is there, or early before that, the blue hour, you need to be there on site. If you're 10 minutes late, it's going to be 12 hours.
Exactly.
I mean, you missed it. Yeah. And so I'll go out early in the morning and find these locations, camping in, and then set up my camera and do my photo shoot. And then through the day, I'll start scouting for other sites that I want to shoot either that evening, following morning, and do that. But it's a great way. In retail, you're in front of the customer all day. You're kind of on. I mean, you're there to entertain. You're there to help somebody. You're there to service them and help them make a great experience and have fun. But it's taking a lot out of you to do it. It's a lot of emotional effort and physical effort to some degree. And this is how I recharge my batteries. I'll go
Perfect.
out just by myself in the woods and get away
Right.
from everything else.
Good.
Just be in nature and do my
That's
hikes.
what I was going to say. I'm sure it's a reset.
It
You're
is.
creative. You're out there creating something, but not in the jewelry industry, which is maybe you see something even in nature that's going to inspire you as a designer.
That is
And
correct.
I think you couldn't go that is something you should continue to do. And what a way to inspire your art.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
know,
Thank
it's
you.
just
Emmy.
everybody, go out to the woods
Yep.
and,
Got the
and
wood.
reset yourself.
And one of the best times is in the fall. We're getting ready. We know the Christmas season's coming up. You've gotten all the work done of trying to prepare advertising, new jewelry designs, and everything, your marketing plan and all that. And then just before the Christmas season hit, for us anyway, it's typically late October, early November, the leaves start changing. And so that's almost my last little getaway before I hit the November, December rush.
Oh, yeah.
Is to do a 3-day camping trip out, see the beautiful fall foliage. And spring is gorgeous with the waterfalls, all that. But for me, fall with the fall foliage, nothing beats that. Here in Arkansas, we have the hardwoods. And so, well, it's beautiful in Colorado with the aspens and fall. Here in Arkansas with the hardwoods, you get the reds and you still get the yellows, but you get orange and you get purple and you get all these different beautiful fall colors, which makes for an amazing palette when you're shooting.
Wow. Amazing.
Well,
I'm excited.
It shows.
Yeah. Well, it's fantastic. You have a pastime, a hobby that really you could you're very passionate about, love doing, because hear it through your voice. And I think as a business owner for a probably pretty demanding business, it's always important to be able to get away, recharge, and also focus on something else where it's you're not thinking jewelry all the time and sourcing and diamonds and what to pair with that blue diamond. Are you're focused. Having a balance in life is very important. And, because we all can get very easily burnt out with just the daily life of running a business and being on, thinking about marketing, thinking about the customer, and having that work-life balance is very important. And
it is.
For you, I'm glad I could
it's easier. It's easier said than done about having that work-life balance. And really up until 12 years ago when I started this, I didn't have much of that before. That was around age 50 when I started getting into this. And I really feel like in my later 30s and all through my 40s, I did not have a good work-life balance. And part of it, because when you're not at work and you have family and the 3 kids, you're just constantly, running around with taking care of the kids. And then if it's not kids, it's work and no me time. And there was, no time to really recharge my batteries.
Sure.
And so as became an empty nester and then found this as a hobby, Guy, you're exactly right. It has been wonderful to have this as a hobby to get away from what I'm doing here most of the time and just recharge my batteries and have a side interest. And I have a lot of different jewelers that have different things, whether it's music, playing the music, or a friend of mine is a director for a local symphony and Joyce doing that. So there are a variety of different venues and outlets that people have and should take advantage of, because I have found it makes your time here at work that much more enriching when you're not burnt out. You've had this chance to recharge and recoup, and now you come back to the store fresh, invigorated and ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. That's great and very important.
Me time.
Absolutely. Is there anything on the horizon for Underwoods or Craig Underwood? That's
well, my wife and I have been talking about this. Our goal is, as Troy's coming in, to start taking more time off. And in retail, as we all know, it's very difficult to do that. And so I turned 62 this year, and that was my goal, was the year that I turned 62 to start taking a little bit more time off. The goal this year was to take 1 week a month off. That's not happening. It's a goal. And I haven't done it. I got a week in March, but I haven't done it. But I have been taking long weekends. So in January, February, and this was April, I took a long weekend. Which again, in retail, I've always worked Saturdays, and so I don't have weekends.
Right.
And never have. And so at this point, this has given me a chance to have a little bit of a weekend, or officially shoot for the goal of taking a week off. And I could not have done this without my son, Troy, coming into the business. And he is a great. Matter of fact, kudos to him. Just last week, it was announced that he was 20 under 40. He was one of the ones they listed. They came out with the 20 jewelry executives and the rising stars under the age of 40. And he was one of the 20. Yeah. That's it. And he was one of the 20.
I saw
yes.
that. He was.
Yeah. So and
he's just like you, Craig. He's gonna just keep, go in all in.
Right.
He's very talented.
Fantastic.
Does a great job. Yeah. And so I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. Having him here is allowing me to at least have that as a goal. Again, I haven't quite achieved that goal yet, but at least I have it as a goal that I've been able to put on my plate. And we'll see as we go through. We're going to be able to take a little more time. I do have my wife and I have another ride set up this year. We're going to do the Danube River. That one is one where you're on a riverboat, and each day you go out and ride, 40, 45 miles, and either loop back around and come to the same port that you were, or meet the river downstream. We have that, and I'll take my camera for sure.
Yeah,
nice.
At least when I grow up, I want to be Craig. I want to be Craig.
I do too.
Yeah. Do you cycle?
We'll just have to see how the summer goes.
I know, right?
Holidays go,
yes.
and we'll get an update on your new, all your great adventures.
Yeah.
And,
so
all your
either one of y'all? So either one of y'all ride bikes? Y'all cycle?
Yeah. Yes, I love mountain biking. I don't do it enough these days, but yes. I do. I have thought about taking longer rides. I've done that. I don't know, 100 miles maybe. But yeah, it's lots of fun. And I will say though, I'm not a big fan of riding on roads.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the off-road feel, the challenge.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's maybe I'm gonna have to. I gotta be like Craig, and I'm gonna be. There's gonna be a shadow. Like, who's that? This guy.
Well, I ride a bike, but it's an all-terrain vehicle.
There you
go.
So,
there you go. At least
I raised two boys and out in the country, but
I love that.
Right.
I do know how to ride the ATV and the tractor.
There you go.
But the bike, but I grew up around ATVs and mini bikes. That's what they had, and so I can ride an ATV.
Awesome.
It's a race.
Wow,
we're gonna race, Elisa. You, me, and Craig.
That's what good Southern girls. Yeah, I'm from North Carolina. That's what good Southern country girls in North Carolina do.
Well, that's it.
All right. Well, man, this has been amazing talking to you, Craig. Hearing about, of course, all the achievements with Underwood's Fine Jewelers in Fayetteville. So make sure you give them love. Check out the website. I'm sure social media is linked there somewhere. Then you got to go to Underwood Photos and give Craig's photo, his passion, his work, his art. Amazing. Give that some love because, man, there's some really cool stuff in there. And we certainly had a great time talking with you, and blessed to have you as a guest here. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Guy. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Craig.
One thing I'd like to finish up with, I wanted to shout out is, for people to get involved with the jewelry industry, there are so many great people in this industry. And I know it takes additional time, but that's one thing I'd encourage. I done it mostly through AGS. I love AGS and what they do. Matter of fact, we just had our conclave in Austin, and it was one of the best, if not the best, conclave ever attended. It was wonderful. We have a brand new group of young professionals coming into it that have really made it, energized it and made it great to be around. So you have all age groups, but whether it's with AGS or whether it's through GIA, the GIA alum, or through Jewelers of America, there are several different ways you can get involved. And I can tell you, at least for me, once you start plugging in, you get more out of it than you put in.
Absolutely.
But you got to get involved.
Well,
You got to get in there. You got to go with an open heart and volunteer your time. But I encourage people to, whether it be AGS, JA, GIA, any of those, get involved. We have a wonderful industry. We are so fortunate to be in this industry. And I was telling when I was at AGS, I did one program talking about our store and about branding, but I was opening up the discussion saying how wonderful it is to be in this industry, that you are dealing with people at the happiest times. There's a story that resonates with me is from my dad. My dad's best friend was a surgeon here in town, and this is when Fayetteville was small, 20,000 people or so. And back in that time, in the 60s and 70s, surgeons were in the community. I mean, they were like gods in the community. I mean, they were head and shoulders, above everybody else. Very prestigious, great income and everything like that. And I remember him telling me and my dad the story about how envious he was of the jewelry industry, of how we get to deal with people at the happiest times of their lives, people that are, getting engaged, getting married, celebrating the birth of a child or a birthday or an anniversary. And he said, at the best, I saved somebody's life from a terrible illness or a terrible tragedy. And even when you have the best outcome possible, it was not enjoyable for that person to go through. It was a miserable time in their life. He said, you don't have that. You get to deal with people at the happiest times. And we get to deal with beautiful objects of art and of love, and a way for people to express that love. And it's a great industry. So get involved with it, with AGS, JA, any part, and I think it'll come back tenfold for you. That's my plug. I had to put that in, guys, just because it.
I was going to talk about AGS because I knew you were on at one of the big advocates, president, or where you serve
past president.
Board, so.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're at, I think Craig's giving anybody some good advice. Get involved.
Absolutely.
Because it's so important to have the peer groups and am I doing this okay, and reassurance from groups like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times that first step can be the hardest, but I know like at the JCK show coming up, AGS and GIA are having a meet and greet together. There's different ones. JA, I believe, is having one as well. So there's plenty of ways to get plugged in. And a lot of times at the trade shows, whether it be AGTA in Tucson or the JA in Vegas or any of those, there are opportunities. And again, I understand it can be, that first step is always the hardest. But once you go there, introduce yourself, visit with people, and volunteer your time. And that's the people that go there wanting to get out of it without putting in are the ones that walk away disappointed. If you go in with an open heart, wanting to get involved, wanting to help out, that's when you find you'll get more back than you ever put into it.
Amazing.
God, so well said.
Food for thought.
Absolutely.
Words of wisdom. That's some pearls of wisdom for all you out there.
There's a plug. There's a nice plug.
Very good wisdom like that.
Yes. So
thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom.
Thank you so much.
More than anything.
Yeah, wow, this has been amazing. Thank you, Craig. We certainly look forward to next time when we speak with you. It could be in person, maybe in Vegas, maybe somewhere else. We certainly look forward to it. And I hope everyone is listening to this, enjoyed this session. And this is longer than most, but really it seemed like it went really quick because it went very fast. So, but thank you so much. Everyone listening, please check out Southern Jewelry News. Look for Lisa, but make sure you sign up and get the paper. Get Southern Jewelry and Mid-America Jewelry News. Look for Underwoods. They seem to be featured all the time everywhere. And make sure you check out Craig and Underwood's Fine Jewelers and there's my companies. But anyway, we'll
Jewelry store marketing. If your website sucks, just log on.
Oh, okay, there you go.
He's going to help you.
There you go. I can fix it.
There you go.
Gotta get take care of it.
Thank you so much, everyone. Catch you on the next episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.